Hi guys, this is Vidas,
And Ausra.
and let's start episode 44 of Ask Vidas and Ausra podcast. And today's question was sent by Annunziato. And he writes, Hello Vidas and Ausra Motuzaite. I hope that this email finds you both well. First of all, I would like to thank you for the mails you are sending me. There is a lot to learn. I wish you every success in all your doings. The podcasts are very interesting. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to ask your questions. Currently, from the end of the last May, I am playing a Sicilian pipe organ, Builder Santucci, period 1775. Having one manual, 53 keys, 17 pedal notes, 15 manual stops, 3 pedal stops, and 2 accessories. At the right column stop list, among others, there are interesting markings as individual stops, like in Roman numerals 26 and 29, 22 and 19. Can you please tell me what they are? Perhaps have names like flauto in 22nd, soprani, and when can I use them? Until I receive your reply, wishing you my very best regards, Annunziato, Scambri. So wonderful, Osha. This is Italian organ tradition to write stops as intervals, basically, right? Not like German, French, or other traditions. Well, maybe English have something like this too, when they write 12, for example, or 15th as an organ stop.
And since you were in the Italy not so far ago, maybe you could explain for our friends how to understand it.
Yeah, it's basically if you take the lowest note, let's say C, right, in the bass octave, it is the basis of the principal. So they would write principale, right, for the principal, 8 foot. But later they would write ottava. Ottava means octave above this principal. So this is like a 4 foot stop. Later, instead of adding 1 octave more, they would write an interval which would you have to count the interval from the bass note. So what comes next is like 15th, and that would be like Roman numeral 15, and this means like a fifth, 2 2/3, in Italian decima quinta. And then you have like another Roman numeral denoting like maybe 2 foot principal, right? And they would not write super octave. They would write something like 19, and then maybe 22nd and 26, right? Those you have to count intervals, basically back to the bass note. That's how Italians wrote their stops. It's confusing, but it's very logical.
Yes, if you get used to Italian instrument, but if you encounter it for the first time, it might be really tricky. So then just try each stop separately and listen to it.
Listen to it. Which octave are you playing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you will get an octave sound, but sometimes you get a fifth sound too.
Yes, and when you figure it out, you just make yourself like a dictionary in your notebook.
But if it's an old organ, and it is, right, from 1775,
and it looks like it's very Italian because it has only 3 pedal stops. That's so common, for like Catholic countries, like Italy, like France.
Yes, it has maybe three pedal stops and maybe a coupler, perhaps, I hope, to have a long sustained pedal point. Or sometimes they don't even have pedal couplers. Maybe.
Sure, because no, you don't use so much pedal,
Mm-hmm.
like Catholic liturgy,
Yeah.
especially in those times, in those days.
And you only have 17 pedal notes. This means
Yes.
that you have incomplete pedal compass, like 1.5 octave perhaps, right? So you don't play a lot of reger there.
Oh, definitely not. Probably some frescobaldi, fiori musicali.
Or improvisation. Improvisations could sound very well on these type of instruments. And it only has one manual, right? Some stops might be divided as it writes flauto in 20ª. Flauto in 20ª means flute in 22nd, but only in soprano,
Yes.
which means that only the right hand starting from C can play this, right? So in the tenor range it doesn't sound. Only in the soprano range with the right hand you can play flauto. 20ª. Now let's calculate 26 from the bass. 26, 24, 26, 7, 8, 8, 16, 8, 2 octaves, right? It's a fifth. It's a fifth, I think, but not 2 and 2/3, but 1 and 1/3.
Yes.
It looks like this, very high pitched
flute. Yes.
But as a flute, not a principal. So it doesn't fit with ripieno sound, at least, I think. Ripieno is an other tool in Italian organs. It's a handle. You take out this handle and entire row
Yes.
of principal stops, like a plenum sound, plenum
yes,
sounds
exactly.
are present then and could be sounding. It's like a mixture, like organo pleno, like full principal chorus if you use this ripieno handle. But remember, in Italian organs, they don't have a mixture sound per se. You have to assemble mixtures.
Yes, you have to pull it out from
Pull
the
everything
organ, yes.
together, and sometimes everything together if you want a big sound, and sometimes just a handful of stops.
Yes, because sometimes you have full ripieno and sometimes you have just small ripieno.
Yes. And maybe it's for a later date of discussion because it's a long subject, but every mode in this tradition had different type of registrations.
Yes.
And sometimes one principal would be enough for one particular mode, sometimes a flute, sometimes principal 8 and 4, like principale and ottava for another mode, but maybe for a later type of conversation. Wonderful, guys. Please send us more questions. This was very interesting, and we hope this is useful to you. And you can do this by subscribing to our blog at organduo.lt and replying to our messages. And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.